Maintaining good prostate health is essential for men, particularly as they age. The prostate, a small gland that sits below the bladder and surrounds the urethra, can be affected by various conditions, including benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, prostatitis, and prostate cancer. Diet plays a crucial role in prostate health, with certain foods offering protective benefits, while others may increase risks. In this comprehensive guide, we'll delve into the best and worst foods for prostate health, helping you make informed dietary choices. Be mindful of portion sizes. Eat slowly and stop when you feel full. In a nutshell, here's what experts recommend. Note that this video is for educational purposes only and does not aim to replace your doctors. Green tea. Green tea has been celebrated for its health benefits for ages. It's got some stuff in it like epicacein, xanthine stuff, and something called epigallocatechin gallet, EGCG, which might help lower the chances of getting really bad prostate cancer. If you're not into regular coffee, swapping it for a morning cup of green tea is a smart move. You can also go for decaffeinated green tea, which can be sipped cold or over ice. And hey, if the taste of green tea isn't your jam, you can get green tea pills or powder and toss them into smoothies, juice, or any drink. Some folks say that having 7 cups of green tea a day can be like a shield against prostate cancer. But if that's too much tea for you, green tea pills might do the trick too. So give green tea a shot if you want to keep your prostate in check. It's easy to add to your routine and it might just do you some good. Soybeans and beans. Let's talk about soybeans and beans, like peanuts, lentils, and other types. They've got these natural plant things called phytoestrogens, and these can be really helpful. Studies say that folks who eat more of these in their food have about 20% less chance of getting prostate cancer. Now, phytoestrogens are like superheroes with antioxidant powers. They can help your cells stay healthy and keep your hormones in check, which is great for fighting cancer. And when you mix soybeans with other anti-cancer foods, they work even better. Here's a simple way to add beans and soybeans to your diet. Instead of chowing down on red meat, try a black bean burger with some veggies on the side. You can also go for hummus or tofu, which are good sources of soy. These swaps can help keep your prostate happy and healthy. Tomatoes are like little protectors for your cells because they're packed with something called lycopene, which is a strong antioxidant. People who eat lots of lycopene are less likely to deal with prostate cancer. And get this, lycopene might even slow down the growth of cancer cells if they're already hanging out in your body. But here's the thing, your body isn't great at sucking up lycopene from raw tomatoes. So, to give your prostate a hand, you should include tomato-based foods in your meals. Think spaghetti sauce, tomato paste, low-salt tomato juice, and sun-dried tomatoes. And here's a fun fact. Cooking tomatoes actually helps your body absorb more lycopene, so go ahead and heat them up for maximum benefit. Coffee. Men who drank 6 or more cups of coffee daily had their chances of developing prostate cancer reduced by nearly 20%. This effect was observed regardless of whether the coffee was caffeinated or decaffeinated. Even moderate coffee consumption, such as 1 to 3 cups a day, can lower the odds of aggressive prostate cancer by almost a third. How come, you may ask? Coffee contains numerous active ingredients, including antioxidants like flavonoids and polyphenols, which may protect cells and reduce inflammation. 2 compounds, Ca-wel acetate and cafestol, have been identified as potentially contributing to coffee's cancer-fighting abilities. These compounds are more prevalent in boiled coffee than in filtered coffee, as paper filters trap them. Fish. Let's talk about fish, especially the cold water ones like trout, salmon, mackerel, herring, and sardines. These fish bring in the good fats that don't cause trouble in your body like the saturated fats found in some other meats. Now, these fish are like superheroes because they carry omega-3 fatty acids, and these are like armor against high-grade prostate cancer and can even lower the chances of dying from prostate cancer. There's this fancy study from Harvard that says dark meat fish, like red snapper and salmon, are especially good at fighting inflammation, which is linked to prostate issues. If you're not into strong fishy flavors, don't worry. Fresh fish like cod, flounder, and trout have milder tastes. And here's a neat trick. You can cook up something like baked cod with tomato sauce, and that's like a double punch of goodness for your prostate. Some smart folks say that these omega-3 fatty acids, EPA, and DHA, are found in oily fish like salmon and sardines, might even lower your risk of getting prostate cancer. So, consider adding some fish to your menu to keep your prostate in tip-top shape. Carrots. One study found a significant decrease in the risk of prostate cancer associated with carrot intake. Specifically, the odds ratio was 0.82, indicating an 18% reduced risk for those with the highest versus the lowest intake of carrots. It is known that carrots are rich in antioxidants and other beneficial nutrients. These may include beta-carotene and other carotenoids, which have been linked to prostate enlargement prevention due to their ability to combat oxidative stress and inflammation. Saw palmetto. There's this herb that can really help with the symptoms of benign prostatic hyperplasia, which can make life a bit tricky. In a big study from 2020, they looked at this herb and compared it to a medicine called tamsulosin. Guess what? The herb was just as good as the medicine in making things better for people. It made their life quality better, helped with peeing easier, made it easier to empty the bladder, and even brought down something called PSA levels. Selenium. In one study, taking selenium supplements was linked to a 10% lower chance of getting prostate cancer. Sounds good, right? But hold on, in another study, guys who already had plenty of selenium in their bodies and then took more as supplements actually had a higher risk of getting aggressive prostate cancer. Not so great. So here's the deal. Instead of popping pills, it's better to get your selenium from foods like Brazil nuts, whole grains, and tuna fish. They've got the good stuff your prostate needs without any of the risky business. Keep it simple and stick to the eats. Broccoli. Let's talk about broccoli, the superstar for your prostate. It's like a shield against prostate problems. Inside, it's got compounds like sulforaphane and glucoraphanine, which are like the guardians of your prostate. These elements can also help protect you from getting prostate cancer. They go under and kill the hidden cancer cells. You can eat broccoli any way you like, cooked or raw. It's all good. Other veggies like cabbage, cauliflower, kale, and Brussels sprouts are in the same superhero squad. So, add these to your plate to keep your prostate happy and healthy. Pomegranate juice. It is packed with antioxidants, just like green tea and berries. These antioxidants are like shields against diseases caused by harmful stuff in your body. Pomegranate juice is so awesome that it's called a super fruit. It can help prevent complications caused by too much stress on your body. And this too can kill the cancer cells, just like broccoli. Now let's look at some of the foods that are considered unhealthy for those who have BPH or potential prostate cancer should strictly avoid. Sugary and processed carbs. Let's talk about sugary and processed carbs, the kind that quickly spike your blood sugar. These are the sweet treats and refined carbs like white rice, white flour, and cereals that can mess with your prostate. Some big studies from 2015 and 2020 found a connection between eating lots of these carbs and a higher chance of getting prostate cancer. The problem with these high glycemic foods is that they make your insulin levels shoot up. And when your insulin goes crazy, it can rev up the production of hormones that aren't so friendly to your prostate. So, best to go easy on those sugary munchies. And here's a twist. There's some early evidence, although it's just from animal studies for now, that eating too many high glycemic carbs can change the mix of bacteria in your gut. We'll dig into that gut stuff in a bit, but it's another reason to watch your carb intake. Fried delights. Those crispy, golden, but not so healthy goodies, like donuts, fried chicken, and fries are not so tasty for your prostate. While each study might give you slightly different results, when you put them all together, it seems that eating more fried food could boost your chances of prostate trouble by about 35%. You see, when oil gets super hot, it can create some not-so-friendly chemicals that might mess with your prostate. So it's not just about the oil and the crunch, it's also about keeping your prostate in check. Dairy. Now let's dive in dairy, like milk, cheese, and all things cow-related. Having too much of these dairy foodies might not be that great for your prostate. It could actually raise the chances of getting prostate cancer. For instance, even a small daily serving of cheese, like a 2-ounce slice, can bump up your risk by 9%. The culprit here might be something called insulin-like growth factor IGF, which dairy, especially milk, can increase in your body. And if you go for the high-fat dairy stuff, it might also up your risk of a prostate condition called benign prostate disease (BPH), calcium supplements. Now, let's talk about calcium supplements. Taking lots of calcium from food and supplements could also be a risk factor for prostate cancer. Two big studies found this link, so it's a good idea to keep your calcium supplement intake on the low or moderate side to play it safe. Your prostate will thank you for it. Spicy foods. In a survey conducted among men suffering from chronic prostatitis, approximately 47% reported that the consumption of spicy foods, including hot peppers and chili, worsened their symptoms. It appears that spicy foods may cause mild irritation to the bladder and prostate, potentially exacerbating the existing symptoms. Alcohol. Long-term alcohol consumption appears to significantly raise the risk of developing advanced cancer. A study revealed that men who consumed at least 7 alcoholic drinks per week during their adolescence and early adulthood ages 15 to 49 had more than a threefold increased likelihood of developing high-grade prostate cancer compared to those who abstained from alcohol. Excessive salt. A high intake of sodium can sometimes lead to the exacerbation of urinary tract symptoms commonly associated with benign prostatic hyperplasia (BPH). For certain men, adopting a reduced sodium diet by avoiding processed foods and refraining from excessive salt use in meals may prove beneficial. However, it's important to note that sodium is an essential nutrient required for maintaining the body's water balance, so extreme sodium restriction is not advisable. Excessive saturated fat. While the overall intake of fats doesn't seem to be directly linked to prostate cancer risk, certain fats like omega-3 fatty acids are known to have health benefits. However, a high consumption of saturated fats or fats from animal sources, such as those found in full-fat dairy products and fatty meats, has been associated with an elevated risk of advanced prostate cancer. It's worth noting that saturated fat has received some undeserved criticism and is not as detrimental as it's sometimes portrayed. Moderate consumption of saturated fat is acceptable and even necessary. It's the excessive intake that should be a concern. Eggs. In a substantial observational study, men who consumed an average of 2.5 or more eggs per week faced an 81% higher risk of developing a lethal form of prostate cancer when compared to those who consumed less than half an egg per week on average. However, it's important to consider that the study also revealed that individuals who ate more eggs tended to engage in less physical activity, had a higher body mass index (BMI), were more likely to smoke, and had a family history of prostate cancer. Other research has suggested that consuming 5 or more eggs per week might slightly raise the risk of dying from prostate cancer, but may not significantly increase the risk of developing the disease itself. Eggs are a nutritious food, and it's perfectly acceptable to enjoy them in moderation. However, it's advisable not to consume them excessively, particularly when considering prostate health.